Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are finding this show in good spirits. We got some things we have got to talk about. And honestly, there's some things that I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you about that happened a few days ago that I need to give you guys the updates on. Let's keep it a buck. But nonetheless, this is some crazy stuff. I'm going to be real. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Anyway, we're going to get into this conversation because we got some things to talk about. And I told you in another video a while back revolving around this case, I knew that this was going to be the case. I knew this was going to transpire the way it transpired. And I'm still wondering, why the hell hasn't JENN gotten cuffed yet? Okay, and hold on, guys. I'm not saying cuffing season like, she getting the hibbity dib. I'm not saying no love. I'm saying the ones where they shackle you up and they throw you into the jail, and then you hear the gavel strike, and then you're found guilty of doing some things, and then you're put into a prison for a very, very long time. That's the kind of cuffing I'm talking about. Let's get back into it. But as I said, I knew it. Let me say that again because I have to say it because it feels good in my soul. I knew it. Just want you to know. But we got to talk about this. Yes, and it has to do with pig vomit as well. Holy God. This is unbelievable. But do me a favor, before we get into everything, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your name. You know the deal. I told you guys I'd be coming in with some information. We still got to, maybe depending on what happens tonight, we still got a whole other story, another update on something that happened yesterday, breaking news stuff that we will be talking about tonight, hopefully, God willing. So please be sure to hit that like button down below because we are looking for justice for Madeline Soto no matter what. That's what we need more than anything. So by you putting that energy into that like button, it helps get the story out there, and hopefully it gets to the eyeballs that need to see this situation so that we can get swift justice for her. Because honestly, this is taking a lot longer than I expected. I'm going to keep it a buck. It's been taking way too long. Why hasn't she been locked up? Why hasn't she been locked up already? We already hear all these things. Dagnabbit, she should also be behind bars right now. But is she right now? Is she? I'm going to answer for you. No. Hell to the no. She is not. She is out here living and breathing in this freedom air. I ain't cool with that stuff. I almost cursed. I ain't cool with it. Moving back into it. Hit that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. Do not forget to hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. And if you are watching on those other platforms, be sure to crush that follow button. Please and thank you. I'd really appreciate that. Hit that follow button on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X/Twitter. Okay, I know that slowly people are calling it X now, but hey, we still call it Twitter in some corners of the world. So make sure you hit that follow button. Do not forget, if you're watching on YouTube, crush that subscribe button, please and thank you. That would be greatly appreciated. Of course, if you appreciate this show and how I tell my stories, please be sure to crush that membership down below. Become a member of the family. Support the channel. And of course, if you want to support even further, you can go over to patreon.com/The Pascal Show. It is disappearing right underneath me as we speak in that ticker down below me right now. And oh, guess what? It's right there again. Bang! Just in case you forget. All right. Support. If you can, that would be amazing. All right. Okay, guys. Okay. Now, I've been sitting on this for a minute, okay? There's been a lot of new updates revolving around this particular case. And of course, I feel compelled to bring it up, talk about it, and rap with you guys about it. Because, honestly, it has been a while since I've talked about Madeline Soto. She had just turned 13 years old. After her birthday party, she went missing. Days later, she was found unalive out in the woods, out in a wooded area. And of course, her life was taken. Now, the thing is we have been quick to assume that it's been done by this monster of a person. Let me see if I still have a photo of him, especially his mugshot, because, we got to get that mugshot right. You feel me? I don't need no photos of him being happy and stuff. In fact, let's just do this one. His perp walk. That just feels so good all the way down to the plums. Okay, here it is. His name is Stephan Sterns. Okay, but throughout the show, I'm going to be calling him Pig Vomit. All right. I know some of y'all don't like that, but at the same time, that's what I call him. He is trash. Now, JENN, I call her JENN, but it's Jennifer Soto. She is the mother of Madeline Soto. There has been new updates as of the past few days that I did not expect. Well, and like I said, I knew it, but I did not know that this was going to come out the way it did. Bombshells dropped about the dynamics inside this apartment. And I'm telling you right now, with Madeline Soto, this was an apartment from hell. Now, I know that sounds super dramatic and all that, but I'm saying, I'm just keeping a buck. I'm keeping it real with y'all. This was a house from hell. This man who has been named stepfather to boyfriend to stepfather to daddy, all these things, did some really horrendous, disgusting, and deplorable things with this young girl, Madeline. Now, you've seen his face, right? That's enough, right? I'm gonna take his ugly ass down, because see, that's much better, right? That's a little bit more soothing. Hurts to see that this beautiful young girl is no longer here, but I'll take this photo over Pig Vomit's face any day. But there has been a lot of stuff that has come out, has been falling out as of late, revealing some very unthinkable things. Now, we already knew that we were going to get some unthinkable results revolving around this case. Let's be real. This piece of trash, Pig Vomit, had countless photos, videos, etc. on his phone and on his personal devices. There's so much that, from my understanding, they were asking or getting a very large hard drive to be able to obtain all the content that Pig Vomit had obtained over the years. Mind you, this person, Pig Vomit, Stephan Sterns, was collecting content for years. For years, guys. Content where she was the unfortunate focus and star of his footage. The victim in this footage. This really hurts, because this was happening in plain sight in front of her own mama. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This piece of work right here. JENN. Now, here's the thing. We are going to be looking at some footage that we've seen before, okay? To kind of just take a little bit of a trip down memory lane, because I still got some of that footage. I held on to some stuff because I was like, we ain't done with this story yet. This case is not done yet. And I hope that this young girl gets the justice that she rightfully deserves. But here's the thing. Sure, Pig Vomit is locked up right now. That mother lover locked up, and it's great. I'm happy about that to a certain extent because I'm not sassified, babies. I'm not sassified. You want to know why I'm not sassified? Because this woman right here should be locked up too. Because of the stuff we've been hearing as of late. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Let me show you what I mean. And then we're going to take a little trip down memory lane, just a tiny bit, because I just want you guys to see with your own two peepers the BS that these two constructed. They put on a full-on display of, oh, where's our kid? We don't know where she is and all that stuff. I mean, JENN was not trying to act. She didn't even try. No, she didn't do Our Town in high school. Okay. No, she didn't do any, kid theater when she was a kid. Clearly, she has no acting abilities at all. But clearly, Pig Vomit was like the lead in some of his high school plays because he put that stuff out here. He was all tears and red-eyed and all jacked up over the missing case of his precious one, Madeline Soto. We've talked about this at great lengths, but hey, we got to get straight into the part that I'm like, what? I'm sorry. I know I use this a lot, but I don't care. Because you hear this, you read this, it says, hey, his mom told police it was normal for her to sleep with Pig Vomit in the same goddamn bed. Did I call it before? No. Don't do the but. No, I called this ish months ago. Called it. Okay. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that this stuff was going to come out her mouth the way it did. Oh, it's totally normal for them to share the same bed. What? Wait a second. Hold up. You said what? Stop already. That's normal. And what's even more interesting about this situation that makes me go is that she said this out loud to police and said this was normal. Oh yeah, it's normal. It's like she's just having some tea with her friends, crossing her legs, talking about crochet. Talking about the recent, Love and Hip Hop episode that she just saw. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that So-So did that and threw the drink in her face. Oh my gosh. By the way, yeah, Pig Vomit sleeps with my kid all the time. It's totally normal. Totally normal. Right? And I'm still wondering, why isn't she locked up? Why isn't she locked up? Let's get into this article, shall we? Whoo-wee. That's all I got to say. This is, I didn't write this stuff, man. This is real, man. This is real. Madeline Soto's mother told police that it was normal for her daughter to sleep with her stepfather Pig Vomit's bed. Last month, Sterns, of course, we already know he's being charged with first-degree M and SA in connection to her demise. Officials said Sterns was supposed to drop off the 13-year-old at school the day she disappeared, which obviously did not happen. They have footage of him putting her unalive body in the car. They have footage of him going and trying to get rid of her belongings in a dumpster whilst her unalive limp body is in the car as well. They can see it clear as day that she is gone. He's trying to cover his tracks, maybe cover their tracks. Just saying. Like I said, where she be at? Where JENN at? Because this is ridiculous. He reportedly told investigators she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from school. Oh, by the way, we have some of the interview that we're going to be listening to. Apparently, this is one of the first interviews that he had when she went missing with police, and he's lying through his damn teeth at that time as well. During a February 27th interrogation, he said the teen was, quote unquote, very particular about what car she was seen getting out of in front of the school. Now, here's the thing. I understand some kids, get a little embarrassed. They want to be, pulling up in the dopest whip. They want to look fly. They want to showboat. They want to show up and show out whenever they go to their school. And yeah, kids are ruthless. Kids are bullies. Shoot, some of y'all are still got the mentality of some of these grade schoolers. Okay, real talk. Some of y'all still haven't shaken that immaturity out your damn bodies. But still, kids are ruthless. Kids are very ruthless. All right? So I get it. She doesn't want to be seen, possibly. But the ride that he was driving in didn't look so bad. Like, it wasn't like some half the car was falling out. The engine was about to pop out and all that stuff. It was a fine car. So it doesn't make any sense. Because in my mind, I go, wait, did you drive? Does he drive? Or does mama drive like some sort of Beamer? Does she drive a Mercedes? Just saying. Doesn't make any sense. But I get it. Kids will be kids from time to time, right? Let's continue on. But Soto never made it to school. We already know about that. Her body was found March 1st, 5 days after she disappeared, the day after her birthday party, her 13th birthday party. She was up and disappeared the day after her 13th birthday party. Officials said on the day she disappeared, Sterns was spotted in the area where her body was found. That same day, he was caught on camera throwing items into a dumpster where Madeline's backpack and school laptop were found, authorities said. After he threw away those items, Sterns was allegedly seen on video returning to his apartment complex with Madeline still in the car. Investigators believe she was already gone at that time. He said, she's a very good girl, definitely doesn't feel the same around here if she's not here, Sterns told investigators. Now, of course, they obtained documents, WESH, obtained court documents showing sworn statements from police in Kissimmee, detailing their discussion with JENN, Madeline's mother, on March 14th, on St. Patty's Day. So, quote unquote, JENN, as I like to call her, stated while they were together, they, Jennifer, Stephan, and Madeline, would either all sleep in the same bed or Madeline would sleep with her Madeline would sleep with her when Stephan was not there. Interesting. JENN reportedly told police it was normal for Stephan and Madeline to share the same bed when she wasn't there. Say what? Whoops, wrong one. Say that again? Say that again? So it was normal for them to sleep in the same bed when she wasn't there? Yeah. JENN stated if she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety, she would ask them, Stephan, Pig Vomit, and Madeline, to sleep in a different bedroom. Gets even worse. Pig Vomit stated Madeline always needed human contact when going to sleep. He referred to this as, I feel like I'm, okay, hold on, snuggling. I can't. Oh, God. I feel like I'm about to, Suddenly everything tastes like a nickel. But you know what I'm saying? Gross. Gross. Of course, he was arrested with 60 counts of related SB, S battery, and possession of CP. Police said they found disturbing, but we already know about all this ish. Okay? So homeboy, oh my Lord, I guess got the green light from mama saying that it was okay for them to sleep in the same bed. And let me tell you this though. Let me just completely be real with you. This is the most disturbing, most disgusting stuff I've ever heard. And we've heard some really crazy stuff. And we've heard things about monsters taking advantage of situations behind their spouses or their girlfriend's back. You see what I'm saying? Taking advantage of the littles while the mama has no clue, or even the daddy has no clue type of situation. You know what I mean? This is the first time I've ever seen where it's the okay. She approves this message. This is a sworn statement, by the way, taken by 5-0. And she says that they had an understanding and that this little one shared their bed. So let me say this really quick. All right? Let me just say this really quick. I told you. One of the main things I'm going to ask, there's a lot of things. I got so many questions. Okay. I got so many questiones, guys. So many. And yes, Just Joe, I agree. This is unbelievable. But without a shadow of a doubt, it's without question that JENN knew. She knew exactly what was going on behind those doors and between those sheets. That's very disturbing to say out loud, but at the same time, that's exactly what it is. Also, let's not forget too, maybe this is the reason why Madeline wrote that text to a friend saying that as soon as she turns 13, that she's going to live out in the woods. Maybe she really did write that text message because of the torment and the things that she went through since she was 8 years old. Think about that, guys. Maybe she actually wrote that saying, I'm out. I can't do this anymore, because she started to finally come to the reality of the situation, maybe to the weight of everything. Maybe she realized how jacked up and wrong her situation was living in that apartment. And maybe that's why she sent that text message to her friend before the tragedy ensued. And then again, you never know. Maybe somebody, maybe one of the two did that text message to throw the police off and all that stuff. Maybe. But I doubt it. Now I'm feeling like she may have really written that text message because she couldn't take it anymore. She couldn't handle it. Oh, here's the other thing too. Remember, they have like a terabyte. A terabyte worth of footage. Okay, let me say that again. A terabyte worth of footage and things of footage of all kinds. We called it feetage earlier. Feetage. Okay? Feetage. That has to do with everything disgusting and disturbing that I can't even fathom, and I'm sure you can't either. A terabyte, guys. A terabyte. Think about that for a second. A terabyte. Do you know how much footage you need to be able to do that, to fill a terabyte? Do you know how many photos you need to fill up a terabyte? I'll answer it for you guys real quick. A lot. Hence the reason why I say, hold on. It is 8 years, or sorry, 5 years. Sorry, she was 8. 5 years, right? Of her in this torment. The amount of SA that this young girl went through is mind blowing. And I still am wondering, is all that footage all of her? I'm still going to ask that until we get an answer of some sort. Are there other victims involved? Also, here's the other thing. The fact that the mama is sitting here saying that this was normal, that they would sleep and share the same bed with Maddie. I asked this a couple months ago, and I'm going to ask it again. Are some of that footage being held? Is some of that footage being shot by JENN herself? I know that's gross. I know that's disturbing to think about. But what's even more disturbing is that this was normal. This right here. Right here. That is normal, according to JENN Soto. So I'm asking those questions. Because you can't, I can't, here it is. Maybe she just straight up allowed it. Maybe she just gave him the green light, gave him the passcode, whatever you want to call it, gave him the thumbs up, approved the message, whatever it is. And he still did his thing, and he directed everything. He shot everything himself. But that's not the vibe I'm getting here. I'm getting something completely different. Not only do I feel that maybe she was taking some of these photos and video taping, filming some of this stuff on his phone or whatever they were using to capture these disturbing moments. I think she partook. Yeah, I said it. I think it was a family affair, for lack of a better term, in an extremely disturbing way, period. And it breaks my heart that we're even just hearing about any of this in this way. I didn't want to be right. I really did not want to be right about this. But I had the theory in my head. I'm like, nah, she knew. JENN knew. And she could have been a part of this. She could have been one of the person holding the camera, the phone, filming all this stuff for the last 5 years and just been cool with it. It's unbelievable. I just can't believe that this is real. That this is actually a true story. That Madeline actually went through what she went through. And you want to know something else? Just a quick wake-up call. She is not the only one. There are still kids out there that are dealing with the same type of ish out there in these streets right now as we speak. I hate to bring in that harsh realization, but that is a real thing, y'all. And it's out here. Real quick, let me get these really quick. Shelly, Ray, welcome to the family. Thank you so much. Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Jody, thank you so much. Neglect, and she should never have children again. Yes, I agree as well. I'll clap to that too. Again, also, Jody, Court TV put out mom had to ID his whatnot in pics. So she literally had to go, yeah, that's his wee-wee. I'm dead. I'm like, no joke. Literally said that happens to be his manhood. Yes, she had to do that because clearly she'd been with him for a while. So of course you're going to know what it's going to look like. And apparently it is very, what's the word? I mean, if they were all in a lineup, you'd know exactly who it was without question. Okay. He had some physical, like a birthmark in a way. Yeah. Like a birthmark. Long story short, or short story short. Okay. Because we're talking about pig vomit. But I'm sure they were like, oop, you know what I mean? Put a lineup of those, you're going to be like, there it is. No question. Because apparently, as you guys see, there's like a pigmentation or something of that sort that apparently you could see from space. All right. So, thank you. It's his. He is a birthmark. He is a birthmark. I think you mean he has a birthmark. But yes. Okay. Just it is nasty, Priscilla. Nasty. All right. Okay. This is a lot to break. There's a lot to talk about, y'all. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to break down. And at the end of the day, this young girl, I hope, gets all the justice that she absolutely rightfully deserves. But I am still asking the question, why isn't this woman, JENN, locked up already? Now, here it is, though. She went on record, sworn record, that this man did these things, that they were sharing the same bed with Madeline. There's no question about any of those things. So why is she still free as a bird? That's the one thing I'm going to ask till I am blue in the face, or until she gets locked up, because that's exactly what she rightfully deserves. Now, before we go into like everything, the more information, I just want to take a little bit of a trip down memory lane with the interviews that they had back in the day. We're just taking a tiny bit of a trip down memory lane. We're not watching this whole doggone thing. Trust and believe we are not. Okay? We are not going to watch this whole thing. But I just want you guys to remember. I'm here to remind. I'm here to bring this back into under your skin. I want this to be under your skin tonight. And ask the same burning questions that I have in my head. Why is this woman still out here free? Why? Don't worry. We're going to look at his performance as well. We got to look at both, baby. All right. But let's take a look at this. All right. Please do me a favor. Hit the number 1. Like I said, this is a quick trip down memory lane because there's a lot more that we're looking at. There's the interview that he gave to police, the audio of that is out for us to consume. We got some things we got to look at. We got our boy Vinny Politan, putting in some information and breaking it down for us as well. He had a show last night and talked about this as well. We got some things from Court TV. Shout out to Court TV, real talk. All right. So we're going to be looking at that as well. All right. So get comfortable, grab your coffee, your libation, your water, or your OJ, and let's get straight into it, shall we? Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. Let's go.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your first and your last name and spell them both out for me.
Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFER SOTO.
JENN. And let me just say this really quick. Obviously, I'm not a behavioral expert or anything of that sort. There's plenty of those on YouTube. Some of them are really fantastic. Okay. Highly recommend going and checking them out. Maybe they've done a breakdown of these interviews. I don't know if they have, but still what's interesting about this interview to me is how there is no emotion in her eyes. I'm just saying, this is just gut reaction shooting from the hip. Pew, pew. The reactions that she has is very callous, very distant. Seems like she's just trying to go off of something that they both agreed to in a conversation before this interview. I better not mess up. I better make sure I got the timeline right, because if I mess up, there's going to be a big problem, right? Then on top of it, it's the shaking of the foot. It's the shaking of the foot to the point where her whole body just is doing this the entire time as she's telling these details. Don't worry. I'm going to let it play for a little while. Enjoy.
Mother.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe.
Sorry, I lied. I got to jump in one more time and then I'm going to let it ride. Do you realize that this was the opportunity? Okay, let me just peep you on game real quick, y'all. Let me just peep you on game real quick. And I've talked about this before, millions of times before. But when it comes to this media stuff, there's usually a moment where the interviewer says, I'm going to ask this one question, and this is for sure going to be the moment where the family, the mother, the father, the grieving such and such gets to really emote. This is not manipulation. It's not. It's just a fact. We're going to ask you this question. And of course, this is your moment to express your true feelings. That may make you cry. It may make you angry. It may make you stutter. It may make you super verklempt, okay? Real choked up and whatnot, right? But it's an opportunity to grab the heartstrings of the nation and possibly the world in regards to your loved one's missing case. Right off the bat, this reporter said that particular question, how do you feel about all this stuff? Whatever he said, right? It's a very basic question that a lot of interviewers use and reporters use all the time, because that's usually when they're like, okay, now you can emote. This is the moment where you can give us emotion. We're going to ask for facts, but now is the time to really bring the people in so that they give a damn about your missing child or your missing loved one. Look at what she does right off the bat. Should be without question, she should be emotional. But is she right off the bat? Take a look at this. Let me roll that back.
Mother. Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize?
Notice that, right? I'm just letting you know. Okay? Just so you know. Kind of weird. Okay? Kind of weird. All right? Not a tear in her eye, indeed, Priscilla. All right? Somebody else said, Stormfluent said, showtime, action. But did she do that? No. Usually this is the moment. And let me tell you this too. Obviously, we already know the end result here. This is Pig Vomit's girlfriend trying to cover up for him and all that stuff. But let's keep it real. We don't see anything about her responding in any type of visceral way. In a way, she's more concerned about covering her own ass. It's weird. Now, I will say this too. Now, we already know the results of this. She a liar. She is a liar. She's a cheat. No, she ain't a cheat. I don't know about the cheat part, but she is a liar. Now, here's the thing, though. Still in this particular situation, she's trying to cover for Pig Vomit. If he's the only one that did this, but she's still trying to cover their asses. That's what I mean by, yeah, of course she's devastated, for sure. If she really gave a damn about Madeline, of course she's going to be telling, that's partially the truth. But at the same time, she is busy trying to keep the timeline in her head because she's nervous, because she got the lights in her face, the camera in her face. She knows for a fact that the world's going to be looking at this and dissecting the hell out of it as well. Just saying it out loud. She don't care. Now, if there is mental health, if this is a mental health issue, we have yet to hear anything about it. Okay? We have yet to hear anything about it. Real talk. But it's interesting that now we're looking at this and saying, okay, something ain't right here. And I will say this too. Clearly, I'm going to blow my face up here. Clearly, there is mental health issues going on here. That goes without question. You're telling me that you're going to allow your own little to sleep in the same bed with your man, an adult, even when you're, regardless if you're there or not, you're willing to share the same bed with your little? The what? It's not like sharing the bed if she had a nightmare or if it's a really stormy night. No. They're sharing a bed together. So yeah, clearly she's got some mental health issues going on for sure. That goes without question. Goes without question. Real quick though, because I saw this at the corner of my eye. Olivia, thank you so much. Not to take away from Madeline, but can we someday, can we do this someday with the OG, the original interview with CP and KP? It'd be interesting to see it again now that so much time has passed. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe not. You know what I mean? I'm taking a little bit of a break, stepping back from all the chaos because it's just chaos now. It just really is. But still, here it is though. This is terrible. Opportunity to speak up and show some real emotion, and she doesn't give that at all.
When did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
See, even with that noise in the background, yes, it's a little embarrassing, but at the same time, I wouldn't even give a damn. I'd be like, I'm really sorry. Let's continue. I'm not chuckling. I'm not smiling. I'm not doing anything. I'm just like, yo, I'm really sad. I need to find where my daughter is or my son is, whatever it may be. I want to get the truth out and the information out. This, whatever. Let's scoot forward though. Because we all seen this.
I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share. What? Like I'm saying, you got plenty of opportunity to just tell everything how it is. You're not sure what you're allowed to tell because you don't have the full facts in your head straight. That's what it seems like to me. Why would you hide anything? If you have nothing to hide, why would you be worried about giving out any information? You just say, hey, this is what we know. This is where we last saw her. This is where she was last dropped, so on and so forth. You don't sit there and go, oh, I don't know what I'm allowed to say right now. No, you just start talking. Sorry, you just start talking. That's just my personal opinion.
Whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that we'll put the awareness out there.
Like I'm sorry, where I will be passing through this quickly, I promise, because we're going to get to the real stuff. But I'm just trying to point to you guys. This woman knows everything that was going on. She knows for a fact that this man did not really drop her off, Madeline off at school. She knows for a fact that this man did this unthinkable thing to her daughter, and she's trying to cover his ass. Now, here's the thing. This could very well be a thing where she is terrified. She knows that this man's will is capable. Now he's capable, all right, of taking her own life. Because at first it's like, maybe he raised his hand to her. I don't know. But maybe in her head, she's like, he would never do anything like take my life, right? But now Madeline's gone. Oh, wow, he is fully capable of doing this again. Okay. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. Maybe she is scared. Maybe she really is scared. Maybe. And she can't say anything right now. But still, oh my Lord, the fact that she allowed any of this malarkey in her own bed is beyond me. And she should be locked up for that alone. And then you can throw everything else on her, because this stuff could have been prohibited. This stuff could have been pushed away. This stuff could have been stopped. This stuff could have been avoided. And it did not happen. But don't worry. I'm sorry. I know I keep talking because of this. This is getting me. I'm getting really mad. You know what I mean? It gets me really, really riled up because, see, this is the thing when it comes to kids, man. When it comes to kids, man, we talking about kids, man. And I hate that so much. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw
And lies.
her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit.
Lies.
And leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it.
Lies on top of lies on top of lies. She's looking straight at the ground. She's not looking at the reporter. She flashes a glance at them every once in a while, and then she keeps looking up at the sky. She's looking over the camera. She's not even looking at the camera, for crying out loud. She is just straight up lying because she knows for a fact all the words that are coming out of her mouth are lies. Okay, so I've had enough of this. But we should take a look at pig vomit, shall we? Because it's just, let's skip right over to pig vomit, shall we? Let's take a look at this dude. Have mercy. Have mercy. Pig vomit in 4K. Shall we take a look? Just a little bit. And then we're going to get straight into the other stuff, okay? But I'm telling you right now, this man deserves to be buried under this doggone prison that he's about to step into because he's about to be there for a long time. I'm telling you, I said this before about somebody else, but I'm telling you right now, he's going to be found guilty, and then he going to be somebody, he going to be out here fully shaved, all right? Face smooth as a baby's bottom with Kool-Aid lipstick and holding the inside pocket of some dude named Toby. Give it some time, but it's coming. You know what they do to people that do things to kids, right? Oh, it's coming, and it's going to be glorious. Watch for it. Let's continue, shall we? Yes, I said Toby. Yes, I said Kool-Aid lipstick, because it's coming for him. Trust and believe.
And last name is spelled them both out for me.
Stephan Sterns, Stephan Sterns.
All right, so Stephan, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
Blah.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way.
Oh, she was asleep for most of the way. You know, it's been a while since I've seen this interview. You realize that, right? But that's interesting because why would he suddenly say that? Just saying. Y'all laughing at the Kool-Aid lipstick. I'm just saying. You better not drop that soap. You better get a soap on the rope. Real talk. Just saying.
Told her have a good day at school when she got out. And I love her. She said thanks. Love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
It's not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she could be.
We don't know where she could be. We don't know. Let's continue on.
Scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all along the communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage and not much else.
Okay. One thing I do find also interesting is how jacked up he is. He's more jacked up than her, which I found to be weird too. We talked about that in the past. I was like, what? Why is, like I said, he must have played some, maybe a supporting role or maybe the lead in a high school version of Our Town. So he had a little bit of high school theater in his background. You know what I mean? To be or not to be. So he's like, I must emote because I don't want people thinking that I'm the bad guy. Maybe he did a little bit of theater. You never know. But still, it didn't work. Why? Because he didn't cover his tracks. Thank you, Jesus, he didn't cover his tracks because he's a terrible, terrible criminal. But I'm telling you right now, it's not just him. It's her too. She's a part of this. If anything, she allowed this behavior. She said it was normal for them to share a bed. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. It was normal. All of these things could have been prevented without question. Without question, y'all. Now, Court TV, what's up? Hey. What's up, Court TV? I'm so glad that you mentioned it, Court TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Okay. Hopefully I smell good. You know what I mean? But anyway, here it is. Have you heard the audio of Sterns' police interview? I'm so happy that you mentioned that. Why? Because of Court TV, we're going to be listening to that interview in just a second. They put out the audio. We're going to take a listen. We're only listening to a snippet of it, but at the same time, we're going to be listening to it nonetheless. And I don't know about you, but I'm here for it. Again, we've seen those old interviews. We've seen that in the past. We dissected it. We ripped it apart. I gave him so much hell. All right. I started calling him pig vomit around that time as well. Okay. And I'm going to continue calling him pig vomit. I'm sorry. There's no other word to describe this man. Okay. This man is pig vomit because of all the things that he has done. If he was innocent and he didn't do anything, he'd be Stephan Sterns, but he's not. What he has done is egregious. What he has done is deplorable. What he has done is monstrous, and that no kid should have ever gone through this. And I'm telling you right now, I feel like there are more kids involved in this situation. I really do feel that deep down, all the way down to my plums, all the way to the marrow. I feel that there are other victims that may have not stepped out, or we just don't know because they're too scared to step forward. And I implore every single one of y'all to step forward, because you're telling me he's got a terabyte of footage, and it's all just of Madeline? That's insane. And then also on top of that, I go, is there a ring involved here? Is there something else involved here? Is there something else going on? Is there a ring? If you get what I'm saying, because I can't say certain words on this platform. Is there a ring involved in this situation? Is he leaking this stuff out? Is he selling this stuff to other people, other disturbed individuals? Think about that for a second. Why would you have a terabyte worth of footage, photos, and video? Why? ¿Por qué? Why? Somebody needs to answer for that as soon as possible. That's what I'm going to say about that really quick. But let's get into this, guys. All right? Again, real quick, before we continue on, I appreciate every single last one of y'all. I'm sorry if I burned your cookies today. All right? But we have got to talk about this, and we have got to get justice for Madeline. Real talk. All right? And all the slew of other cases and victims that we talk about on this platform. Okay? And we're going to keep on talking until each and every single one of them get the justice that they rightfully deserve. Right? So hit that like button down below. It helps get the story out there. Please do not forget, crush that subscribe button, okay? Hit that follow button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated, okay? And if you want to support the channel, go and hit that join button down below. Become a member. Go to my Patreon. Join my Patreon. You know, all that BS, okay? We got to get through this, all right? So let's continue on, nonetheless. So let's get into it. Because, Court TV is in the house. We're going to get straight to it, okay? There is audio, all right? There is audio that has come out. Hold on. I thought I had it. Do I have it? Hold on, guys. Let me make sure I thought I had it set up. Hold on. Nope. That is not it. Sorry about that, guys. One second. All right. Let me pull this up. But like I said, there's something about this that just isn't right. And I feel like it's still going to be something that we're all going to be scratching our heads trying to figure out until law enforcement is able to look at this and go, you know what, without a shadow of a doubt, this is what happened. This is how it all went down. They did this, that, and the third, and it is what it is, right? I'm still waiting for that moment when they actually, there it is. I am still waiting for that moment when they say, yes, there is a connection here and she has everything to do with this, right? I am still waiting for that moment, but we haven't gotten that moment yet. I'm hoping it happens very soon, but we're going to have to wait and see here. But and then the other thing, I got questions. So we're going to talk about a few things here in a second, but let's take a listen to Stephan Sterns' police interview. This is provided by Court TV. So I want to give Court TV the credit it rightfully deserves. We're going to take a listen to this interview. And this is after she went missing. This is not when her body was found or anything of that sort. This is right after she went missing. So let's take a listen to this interview.
I know that you already spoke to the other detective, right, about everything that kind of happened today. If you can just kind of go over it with us one more time. The timeline from like when you guys woke up and took her to school and all that.
So we woke up early. The plan was that we were going to get McDonald's breakfast on the way. So we made amazingly good time.
I don't mean to interrupt you, okay? Neither of us were here yesterday. So if you can be kind of like specific about like times and stuff like that, okay?
Woke up around 7:15, somewhere around there, which is an early start for us, but we had talked about getting McDonald's breakfast beforehand, so we wanted to make good time. We did make good time. We got out the door maybe 7:30ish, 7:45ish, maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time, just snoozing until we got there. We got to McDonald's. We're close to McDonald's. I said, "You still want it?" Wasn't interested in the McDonald's anymore, so we continued on. And she wanted to be dropped off a little down the ways from the school. She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers her mom's car, but my cars are, I guess, kind of hoopties.
So then, but see, here's the thing. He's like, oh yeah, she's at that age now. You feel me? We all can understand, kids being kids. She just doesn't like being in my car, and she doesn't like being in her mama's car. We both got hoopties, as he said. So if they're hoopties, then who usually drops her off then? You see what I'm saying? If it's normal for them to drop her off to school, who usually drops her off at school then? Come on. Like I said, it's like he's like, oh, you can relate. Are you a daddy? You a mommy? You got kids? They're at that age, they just don't want to be around us and get dropped off at hoopties, and mama and me have hoopties. Make that make sense, guys. Like I said, he's just trying to make things up, right? I mean, come on. Let's go.
I get it. It's an image thing. But that was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along this stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities on it before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road, and that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to go find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen.
Like, he's straight up making so much stuff up. Oh, my God. But like I said, this dude is crafty. let's keep it real. This guy is very crafty. This is not a situation where he's sitting there going like, this is my first time lying. No, he is lying because he's done this before. He has done this multiple times before. This is not his first rodeo, lying to possibly authority. But most definitely, this is not his first time lying about a kid. And possibly Madeline in the past too. You know, think about this. There's a possibility that Madeline could have been speaking out and trying to get some attention for some help a long time ago. But because he's got that silver tongue, you hear it in his voice. He's putting on that Our Town High School Musical voice on, like, oh, you know, we were there and, you know, I dropped her off and come on, guys. Come on. You know, this also makes me think of Pastor JP when he's sitting there going, oh, you know, I got this story and, you know, I got an announcement, but everybody, you know, I don't want y'all to talk about it right here. I just need y'all to just like leave. You could talk about it outside the church, but got called about my daughter, my wife. My wife is gone. She dead. Yeah, you know, feeling nothing but adrenaline right now. Feeling nothing but adrenaline right now. But please pray for me. Please pray for my kids, my family. Please keep coming back. Please keep giving, but I might not be here for a little while. You know what I mean? It's that whole like, oh, you know, put that photo back up. Another one. That whole thing from Pastor JP. That voice. Same thing's happening right here. Oh, you know, I'm trying to be a smooth operator right now. I'm trying to finesse you into being on my side and not thinking that I'm the bad guy when clearly you are. Let's continue.
It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her. I said, okay, let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that. But I found out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone.
Wow.
But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. It looked like any other day. And I just continued on.
The details coming out of this man's mouth is absolutely astonishing because he is basically, and all of this is fabrication. All of this is fabrication. Either this is premeditated or this was a crime of passion, like it just happened out of nowhere, right? But he for sure had some time to think about what he was going to do and how he was going to tell his storyline. He has this down pat. The details are insane. Details are insane. Let's continue. This is a skilled liar. Skilled.
After you dropped her off, what did you do?
Stayed, talked to her for a minute. Made sure, you know, is it all right that you're going early? Because it was still early. She said, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to hang out and wait for my friends to get there, which she does sometimes. So it didn't sound, you know, outrageous or anything. That was it. Told her to have a good day. I loved her. She told me she loved me too. I turned around to leave, and I was watching her in my rearview mirror. She looked like she was walking in the right direction. She was rummaging in her bag a little bit, like I said, but still sort of just shambling in the right direction while she was doing it. So it looked normal. It looked okay.
Okay, and then what did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. They weren't quite open yet, so I ended up going back home, waited about an hour or so, and then went back and checked the vape shop again. It was open, so I got what I needed there and came back.
Do you remember what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it. And then I waited here and went back to the vape shop. Probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
And then what'd you do after that?
I had a couple errands to run over on 192. She was talking about making a BJ shopping list. She just wanted to make sure I was back in time for us to both go pick up. So I was visiting some card shops around the area on 192. I'm kind of a nerd, so we had a new trading card game release, and I was seeing what the situation was with it.
Do you remember what places you visited?
Yeah, Coliseum of Comics. Stopped by a couple Targets, and I was going to go to House Rules Games down by Oak and 192.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, hold on. So he went. Wow, he's okay. He said he went to a comic book store. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, if he's, I know he's into like Magic game or like that game Magic cards or whatever the hell he is into. It's all good, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, because there's plenty of people that are into that stuff, he went to a comic book store. Then he says something that's weird. He said he went to a couple of Targets. Why would you be going to a couple of Targets? Am I wrong? I'm gonna roll that back, but he said a couple of Targets. Why would you go to a couple of Targets? Hear that? And then, of course, he's saying this, and all of it has to make sense. Like, all has to pan out by 5-0. Because for a fact he's there. He's number one, right? He is number one prime suspect because he's the last one to see this young girl alive and breathing at that time of this questioning. Sounds a little bit familiar, right? I know, but still interesting nonetheless. Some other people, the last person to see their child or a child before they disappeared as well. But this guy comes out with a full-on breadcrumb timeline of where he went. Now, the thing is that the police have to go to Coliseum of Comics, to a couple of Targets, and a slew of other places, the vape shop, so he can get vape juice and all that stuff. They got to do all of that to look at the footage to make sure he is proof positive telling the truth. I'm still quite curious if any of this panned out, if any of this was actually true after he discarded her remains. But let's take a look at this. All right. He says, yeah, Coliseum of Comics.
Yeah, Coliseum of Comics. Stopped by a couple Targets.
Couple of Targets. He went to a couple of Targets, guys. That, to me, huge red flag. Okay? Huge red flag. A couple of Targets. Why would you go to a couple of Targets? Because, it's not like it's a McDonald's or like even a Starbucks, for crying out loud. I mean, you can go down the street and then you see another Starbucks. You go down you go a little ways, a block or two, and you see another Starbucks. It's not that, it's a Target. Do you understand? You got to go on the other side of town sometimes to get to the other Target. Now, don't get me wrong. You go to a Target, your local Target, and you're there to get something, and they're like, oh, dang, we don't have it here, but we have it at the other Target. And you're like, where'd that other Target be at? And they're like, oh, it's on the other side of town, 30 minutes away. So he went to a couple of Targets, he says. Why? What was so important that day that he had to go to a couple of Targets to begin with? That makes no sense. Like I said, that be a lie. Bold-faced lie, in my personal opinion. But let's continue, though.
Go to House Rules Games down by Oak and 192.
So you went to a couple places for some game stuff, it seems like. But like I said, Target? A couple of Targets? Interesting. Now, ooh, all the way from downtown Tipsy. Good point. Let me talk about this for a second. Damn, all the way from downtown. Yes, Hercules. Nicely done, Tipsy. Nicely done. She's got a good point here. The reason why I say this is a very good point is, remember the Anna Walsh case? Don't worry, I'll try to remind you of this really quick. New Year's Eve, she had dinner with her husband, Brian Walsh. They had apparently a beautiful dinner together with some friends. Friends leave the house, and then all hell breaks loose. She goes missing. But police were able to follow Brian Walsh as he went to multiple places to buy cleaning supplies, hazmat suits, a hacksaw. He got all kinds of stuff. Okay? Not to mention the fact that he was also Googling how to dismember and all that stuff. That's a whole other Charles Dickens story. But what I'm here to tell you about, and the reason why I'm talking about cleaning supplies, it's opposite day today. I don't know why, but here it is. It's because he might have gone to that Target to get some gloves and some tarps or something like that, whatever, right? Cleaning supplies there. And then maybe he went to another Target because he didn't want to come off odd with all the stuff that he was trying to buy. There is alleged blunt force trauma to her head. So something may have happened inside that house that would have left quite the scene in wherever she possibly lost her life at. So he probably went to 2 different or multiple different places so that he could get the scent off of his tracks, so that people aren't looking at him like, why are you buying so much bleach and gloves and a tarp and all this other stuff, right? That's a possibility. So, hey, Tipsy. Nicely done, madam. Nicely done. Now, here's the thing, though. Tori, he dismembered her? No. We don't know anything about that yet. Okay, we don't know anything about that. All we know is that her remains were found in a wooded area, and that's it. So I don't want to get it twisted. All I'm saying is things that he would be using to maybe cover the crime scene up, maybe to wrap her up in something before he wraps her up in something else. You see what I'm saying? Anything that he could get. Maybe he did think about taking a saw to her. We don't know. Maybe he thought about it and he's like, I can't do it. That could be it too. But he still went to, allegedly, a couple different Targets. For what reason, I don't know. But you can still get cleaning supplies and other things like gloves and whatnot at a Target for sure. It's just interesting that he went there, allegedly, instead of maybe a Home Depot. I don't know. But like I said, very interesting nonetheless. But that Brian Walsh thing, he went to 2 different Home Depots, if my memory serves me correctly. He paid in cash as well because he didn't want a paper trail following him. But he forgot about security cam footage, baby, showing him paying in cash, wearing gloves. I'm not kidding. Brian Walsh, one of the dumbest criminals in the history of dumbest criminals. We covered that case a while back too. And then, of course, they were able to connect the dots. And then, Brian Walsh is looking at some serious time behind bars because he did that. Like I said, the Googles give it away too. Okay? And he did this allegedly whilst his kids were upstairs playing video games, doing whatever, while he's in the basement slaving away. That's Brian Walsh for you guys. Pretty crazy. But back over to pig vomit. He didn't do any of those things. He may have gone there to pick up cleaning supplies and all that. I'm quite curious as to what he Googled after Madeline Soto lost her life. That could tell us a lot of things too. But let's continue on here because there's allegedly blunt force trauma to her head. That's what is allegedly being said right now. And it's mind blowing. Let's continue though.
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't make it that far. I got a flat tire on the way.
Do you remember where you got your flat tire?
Here we
It was
go.
on 192. I pulled into one of those plazas somewhere. It's been about 10 years since I switched out a tire, though, so I made a lot of rookie mistakes and ended up pinning my thumb between the frame and the jack. Yeah, I'm lucky it's not a lot worse than it could have been. Remains to be seen if I'll keep
Do you
my
remember
thumb
the
down.
name of the plaza by any chance? Do you remember like what stores were in this
It
plaza?
was like right before you got to Oak, though, so it was one of those little strips.
Okay.
I don't know, you've probably been asked already, but
Notice he had all the details until he talked about that flat tire. And he really did get a flat tire, y'all. This is one of the reasons why he was able to get ID'd. Somebody called it in and said, we saw a guy. So, and connecting all the dots. Just something to think about, guys. He had all the details until he talked about the flat. And then he's like, it was that thing near the thing, that place in the area, that thing. It's very, very vague. Let's continue. Everything else was detailed until then, because he knows for a fact they were going to look into that.
she's never ran away or been away for longer than a certain period of time, amount of time. Nothing like that.
No, she's very dependent on us. I don't think she'd know what to do if she did run away. She's not the type. She's a good kid.
Besides the ADHD, is she diagnosed with anything else?
Yeah, she was tested a while back and had some symptoms of autism, so she's potentially on the spectrum there.
Okay.
She was officially diagnosed with it when she was younger, and then she was retested and said, well, she shows symptoms of being on the spectrum, but maybe not full-on autistic.
That's what's up. Now, I don't know if that's entirely true, what he's saying there, but that's interesting enough.
When did you come back to help? Pardon?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, because you live down south, right? When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday. Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her birthday party. Sunday.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here on Sunday?
8:30ish maybe.
Okay.
Just in time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines. And waiting for her mom to get home.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something was coming.
Yeah.
Let me, if it is, let me tell him he needs to take it back.
Okay.
One thing really quick, let me just ask this too. Is it true that she was on the spectrum or no? That's one thing I've been curious about as well. How much of that is actually the truth and how much of that is not the truth? You see what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm still trying to figure out. But then again, I got questions because he could just be making things up to get the sympathy vote. You know what I mean? To get some sympathy from them. And of course, add on top of it, if she's autistic or if she's on the spectrum, then, there's a good possibility that she would just be a flight risk anyway. Maybe she is, an eloper and would run off. You see what I'm saying? So I'm interested to hear about that. Yeah, Maud, I thought I could have sworn she talked about it too. But then again, could she have been saying that as a lie to give people that idea of, okay, she's not on she's on the spectrum, so maybe she could elope. She could just run away. You see what I'm saying? Something to think about, though. Okay, obviously we know the end result here, but I am curious as to if they were using that to make it seem like something more than it obviously was not. It's interesting. Throw people off, right? Interesting nonetheless. Let's continue, though. Shout out to Court TV for this audio. Real talk.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
Okay.
I was a wreck. I don't think...
And this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, at that point, my brain was mush, and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable.
You said Ativan?
Yeah.
You make a U-turn, you go back to the McDonald's, But you said that she still doesn't want the
Still
McDonald's.
doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jungyoung Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make,
Then
a,
make a
right
right.
onto,
Mhm.
yes.
And
the
then you
school
drop
road.
her off
And
around
then
like
dropped her off around halfway up the road there.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound,
Okay.
right? You're still
He okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at this and I'm going, wait a second. This is interesting, right? Because I'm kind of curious about. He says that he's on tranquilizers. I'm rolling that back just a little bit. See, and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. What is going on? Let me just hear what they got to say really, really quick so I understand a little bit more.
You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point.
okay.
Because I was a wreck. I don't think...
And this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but I honestly...
Okay. This was after she disappeared. Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I was like, wait, so you were on tranquilizers during the time of her disappearance or you were on tranquilizers afterwards? And it sounds like this was afterwards, but that's interesting. Wow.
My brain was mush and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. It's just...
You said Ativan?
Yeah.
You make a U-turn, you go back to the McDonald's. But you said that she still doesn't want the McDonald's.
Still doesn't want it. She was just going to eat the Danishes that I had given her.
So you're going up here now, still northbound on Jungyoung Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
You make a left at Town Center this time.
Town Center, then make,
Then
a,
make a
right
right.
onto,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And then you drop her off around like
dropped her off around halfway up the road there.
So keep in mind, all of this is still northbound,
Okay.
right? You're still northbound on Jungyoung Parkway.
Okay.
So why is your car seen going southbound at 8:10? I'll show you what location it is. McDonald's is over here.
Mm-hmm.
At 8:10, your car is seen going southbound at this intersection. So meaning going toward Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm. I had forgotten my gate clicker. I'm sorry. I forgot I had gone back to the house real quick after we left because I forgot my gate clicker. I actually had to go through the front gate and use my parking pass to grab my clicker. So it was the wrong time. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Like I said, I was guesstimating these times.
Oh, he just fell on his face.
I don't think I have any other questions.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
I don't know
either.
where my head was yesterday. It was so far up my backside.
Wow. It was so far up his backside. Wow. Wow. Yeah, he falls on his face there for sure.
That's okay. We understand. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all this to get sorted out, I am going to hold on to your phone, okay? I'll give it back to you when we're done. Okay? Do you have any questions for us?
This is the factory reset?
How long are you gonna need my phone?
I'm not sure. I'm waiting for my supervisor to call.
My dad. It's just my dad's using that to get a hold of me and get updates.
They can call Jen's phone.
Okay.
Did the other detective give you his business card?
I believe so.
Okay, well, here's mine in case you want it for any reason. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. I know it's a little hectic right now.
She said, do you swear that everything that you just said is true? Hold on. I got to write that. I got to pull that back. You realize how nervous he got there when they said, I need your phone. Can we get your phone? And he's like, well, I need it because my dad needs to get in contact with me and all that. And she's like, no, it's fine. He can call you. He can call Jennifer. He can contact Jennifer. It was crazy because he fell on his face hard. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just, my head is so far up my backside, blah, blah, blah. No, you just got caught. You got caught. It was a little bit. It wasn't a huge thing, but still, he got caught nonetheless.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear that everything you told us is true?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Do you swear that everything you told us is true? And he says, yes. Like I said, I mean, this guy was out here lying through his damn teeth. Okay. Not a good thing. All right. Definitely not a good thing. All right. In fact, let's take a look at this timeline, shall we? Because the timeline to me is interesting. All right. We heard all that BS from him, right? We heard all of that BS. Hold on one second. Okay. We heard all of that BS, right? So let's take a little trip down memory lane on the timeline. All right. Here is the timeline. Here are things here's where things stand in Madeline Soto's case after prime suspect charged with first degree M. Okay. So let me blow this up because I know this is very, very tiny. So February 26th, Madeline Soto was reported missing around 8 p.m. after pig vomit. Her mother's boyfriend reportedly dropped her off near Hunters Creek Middle School. Mother went to school around 4:30 p.m. to pick her up, but she was told that Soto had never come to school that day, according to investigators. In addition, Soto's phone was left at home. The very next day, the 27th, Orange County Sheriff's Office issued a release to the public about her disappearance, asking for information about her whereabouts. 28th, massive search was conducted. Now, what's interesting is what I want to know, right? Because this doesn't give us exactly the timeline in which she went missing, right? But from what they say what he says to law enforcement is that, hey, we took her, we woke up, she got ready. I took her to school. I took her to McDonald's. She didn't want any of that. So we went down to towards the school. She wanted to get dropped off at this particular location. She didn't want to be seen being dropped off in my hoopty ride. So I dropped her off a little bit away from the school, not very far from the school, by the way, according to what he says. Then throughout the entire thing, he's like, yeah, as I left, I could see that she was rummaging through her bag. I'm assuming looking for her phone as she's walking towards the school. And that's the last that he saw of her. But meanwhile, he's off going to various comic book stores, going to a vape shop, doing all this other extra stuff. Right. Then while he's on this road trip to a couple of different targets and whatnot, he has a flat tire. They ask him, where did he have this flat tire exactly? He can't give them a straight answer. Then they continue on asking more questions about all of the whereabouts. In fact, they circle back to more questions about the very beginning, about when she went missing and all that. And that's when he starts to fall apart. That's when he starts to fall on his mother-loving face. And it's glorious because they caught this man red-handed lying, right? So now, the main question that still has not been answered is, what happened to this young girl? What happened to Maddie the day she woke up? As soon as she woke up, what happened? She came back from this party, according to JENN, which I don't believe at all. She went straight into her bedroom. She didn't play any video games. She didn't get on her computer or nothing. She went straight to bed. To me, that says something else. To me, that says something happened after she got back home from her 13th birthday party, celebrating her life, 13th rotation around the sun. I think something happened after that. I think she got home and all hell broke loose. That's what I truly think. And they took that opportunity that night, going on into the morning, to do as much as they could to cover their tracks and get their story straight. But I do truly believe that JENN has a lot to do with the unaliving and, of course, the cover-up of Madeline Soto. Now, that's just my particular theory. I could be absolutely wrong, right? But there's something about this that doesn't seem right, that doesn't feel right at all. What happened to her as soon as she walked into that apartment after the 13th birthday party? What happened? Did she really just go into the bedroom, into her bedroom and close the door and go to bed because she was so worked, exhausted from having so much fun, having celebrating her birthday? Or something else, or did something else happen? She had a fight, an argument with her mom, maybe an argument or a fight with Stephan, and then something bad and tragic happened. But to me, it doesn't make any sense that all of this could happen within a few short hours, and he would still have enough time to drive around, get some stuff, blah, 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 cover his tracks, etc., in those short amount of hours. Something's not right to me. Again, we also heard the mom say certain things like, I didn't see her in the morning. But then she says she came back home late or something like that. But then in interviews, she sees her. She says she sees her that morning getting ready. She sees her alive and well getting ready. So of course, obviously, something's not right. The timeline ain't timelining. It's very interesting, guys. But now, as you guys have seen and have been hearing so far, we got some other things that we're going to look at. Like I said, Vinny Politan, he's got a few things to say. We're going to be looking at that as well. But still, you got people out here, these two, that hold the key to the truth of what actually happened to Madeline. It's pretty wild. Nonetheless. And yes, Tyler, what's up, man? I agree. Foul play indeed. Something is not right. Exactly, Shogun. Something is not right with this situation. It is just not. All right? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at some more stuff. Hold on one second. Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Madeline Soto's 13th birthday party was on Sunday, February 25th. The party was at a relative's house and she was surrounded by family. But one person who wasn't there was her mother, Jen Soto. She was working. Madeline's mother and father were not together. In fact, her dad married another woman a couple of months after she was born. But there was a man living in her house, her mom's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns. Sterns was at the birthday party, and at some point after the party and before she was supposed to be at school the next day, Madeline was murdered. Sterns was the last known person to be with her, and he is alleged to have hundreds of disturbing photos on his phone of Madeline being sexually abused. Sterns has been charged in 2 separate cases. The first for the sexual abuse of Madeline depicted on his phone, and the second for the murder of Madeline. New information has been released in the case, and we are going to analyze that evidence. We'll listen to key parts of Sterns' 43-minute police interview.
We got out the door maybe 7:30, 7:45-ish maybe. Got over to that area. She was asleep in the car most of the time.
I'm going to skip through this because we all seen this, but if you guys want to check it out, it's on Court TV, closing arguments, of course, with Vinny Politan. Okay, definitely go check it out, but I'm going to skip through this. All right.
This new information coming out in the Madeline Soto investigation, one thing is clear. No one protected her.
He ain't wrong. Okay? 110%. I agree. No one protected her. No one. No one. If there was protection, maybe she would still be alive right now. Safe, away from these monsters. Real talk. And again, the reason why it's so shocking is because no one could ever think of something like this. Ever. No one could ever think of anything like this. And it is actually happening right in front of our eyes. But no one protected her. It's terrible.
She wasn't protected. And that's the role, that's the job of a parent. That is your first job and most important job.
Damn right.
Your child, your responsibility. You need to protect your child. That didn't happen here. The adults in her life were not protecting her. And it's really the opposite of protecting. It's really the opposite here. So a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about Madeline's mom, Jen Soto, beginning with, what did mom know? Like, what did she know about what was going on or allegedly going on here? Based upon what investigators and prosecutors are telling us that they found. Did she know about the abuse?
I know Vinny's asking these questions. I'm going to let him speak, but yeah, she knew about this. All right. I mean, obviously, we got to ask the questions, of course, right? We got to ask the questions. But at the same time, we all know for a fact that she knew about exactly what was going on. We know that. She says it's normal for her then 12-year-old daughter to be in the same bed. Huh? Grown-ass man. Just saying. Bit odd, don't you think? Grown man in bed. That's not even her biological dad. You see what I'm saying? Because it could be a thing of like, oh, she had a bad nightmare or something of that sort. You know what I mean? I understand that happening. Oh, yeah, come on over. You're protected. You're with me. Daddy's here. I'll protect you type thing. But just sharing to just go to sleep, that's no. Especially when this ain't even his blood. This ain't even his kin. This ain't his seed. She knows exactly what was going on. And I wouldn't be surprised if she encouraged it. Okay? I'm going to let Vinny say what he needs to say, though. You know what I'm saying? Because he was asking a good question. But I'm going to answer it. She knows. She most definitely knows. Now the question is, how does she get locked up? How does she face charges? We're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second, because I got questions about why she hasn't been arrested or hit with charges yet. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let me let him say his thing. You know what I mean? Let him on that soapbox. Let him say his piece. Let's go.
Did she have any idea? Did Madeline ever mention it to her? Did that ever come up in a conversation? Did she ever ask her daughter, what happens when you go into the room and go to bed with my boyfriend? Did she ask? Did she have any idea? Was she oblivious? Was her head in the sand? Or did she know something? And what about her disappearance and her death and her murder? What did she know? Because you go back and you look at some of those statements and you match it up to the timeline, not a lot of it's making sense. And we're going to go through that with some experts in Florida law about how all that works, because it's really, really problematic. And did she know about the lies, the seemingly proven lies that were told by Stephan Sterns about dropping Madeline off at school? Like, did she know that it was all made up? Did she have any idea? Like, how well did she know this guy? Off again, on again relationship for 7 years? Could you tell when he was lying? Or did you know that it was a lie? It's a huge question. Huge question. And that leads us to the next question, which gets much more serious, right? What did mom do? Like, did she do anything here? Well, at a minimum, based upon her statements to investigators, she told her daughter to go in the other room and sleep with Stephan Sterns when she was home and when she wasn't home.
Yeah, that's the craziest part. I forgot about that part. Good call from Vinny. She literally was saying, whenever I had anxiety or whenever I just needed a good night's rest, I would have pig vomit. Stephan Sterns go into her bedroom and sleep in there. Ain't nobody ever heard of a couch? Man, these couches, you know what I mean? They make them real comfortable nowadays. Why the hell couldn't he use a couch? Better yet, why couldn't he just sleep on the doggone floor? But that's interesting too. See, this is exactly what I'm saying, little Patty. Now, I've been saying that for a while now, because some people, some people will look at this and go, oh, she was brainwashed. Yeah, maybe she was. But then again, maybe I hate to put out this some harsh realism into this situation, but what if she thought she couldn't do no better? What if she really thought that she found the best she could find and was scared of losing that partner? Listen, raising a child is not easy. It's stressful. It's expensive too, right? And I commend any single parent that's out here that holds it down for their child or children, because I don't know how y'all do it, okay? Raising a kid is hard. So what if he came in, he provided, and then she was like, I don't know if I could do any better. I'm a single mother. I'm at a certain age, so on and so forth. It's hard to find love in these streets. Maybe she just literally felt trapped and couldn't get out of it too because of her need for someone. Now, that is self-esteem. That may be a little bit of mental health issues as well. But we have to put those things in consideration as well. But literally willing to do whatever she can to appease this monster. And I still don't understand how someone could make that okay. How could someone think about that and go, yep, this is all right? Now, again, Stephanie Diaz just said, Pascal, he wasn't providing. He didn't work. Well, even when she was at work, he was still keeping an eye on her. Now, I know that sounds disturbing right now that we know the truth, but even though he may not be working and providing financially, he's still keeping an eye on Madeline while she's at work. That's all part of the partnership too, right? So maybe she's like, man, I'm lucky to have this partner. I'm not even trying to justify nothing, trust, but I'm just saying maybe in her head, she didn't think she could do any better. I know that sounds really jacked up and messed up, but these are the realities that we live in sometimes. And especially in this situation, maybe she felt she couldn't do anything. I don't know. Like I said, it's crazy. But yeah, little Patty, like a free babysitter then. You know, he's hanging out playing video games and playing magic cards or whatever the hell he's doing. And she ain't got nothing to worry about him straying or running off, maybe. I don't know. It's just so odd. It's so odd, this whole situation. And devastating, because at the end of the day, this young woman, this young girl should still be alive right now. She should be in a in a home, in a shelter. She should be in foster care. She should be far away from these two, period. And it never happened. And what's interesting is that this all happened in plain sight. All of this happened in plain sight, which is absolutely devastating. I'm going to let him play. I'm going to play a little bit more of this because I just want to hear what Vinny got to say. But we're going to continue on, though, okay? Because we got some more we got to look at.
At a minimum, she did that, which is a lot, which is a whole lot.
Yeah. You said it.
But did she do anything else? Because it seems like it was also very normal in the house for all three of them to be together. And there are families that are like that. You have a small child that gets scared or for whatever reason, they jump in the bed with you. I get it. I get it. But, you know, in light of everything else we know now, the question is, what did mom do here?
Mom did a lot and didn't do a lot. If you get what I'm saying here, okay, in this particular situation. Miss Kirby just said, I'm so fed up. I'm so fed up of it. Case after case after case. Some allowing the man to move in a week later, some 2 days later. If you want a man to live with you, that's up to you. Don't put your child at risk. You know what? I agree. I 110% agree. But I also do know that it is hard out here. Okay? It's hard out here for a parent. It's hard out here for a single parent. I'm not justifying any of this. I'm just saying. But yeah, I think that some people get so desperate, they're quick to be like, hey, move on in. You know, I bought you a toothbrush already. That kind of thing. The top drawer is yours for all your drawers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see that happen a lot, right? People are quick to get together, quick to live together, quick to get married, and then they suddenly go, oh my Lord, this person is a monster. Why did I marry this person? All because they're scared of being alone. Okay? I'm so tired of being alone. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of that. And then they're like, oh, I need that partner. Shoot, I'm working late tonight making that extra money while my man's at home watching the kids. Wow. I got a great partner now. It happens. It happens. But the next thing you know, that man or that woman, because it could be flipped around too. Same situation. Man, she cooking and clean. She watching the kids while I'm out here, you know, under this hood, still burning the midnight oil, making that extra money. Man, I got a good one. Only to find out you go back home, she out there gallivanting, or she out here hurting your kids, and vice versa. Happens all the time. We get blind to the fact of the privileges that we don't have, right? Those privileges that we wish we had in a partner suddenly are bestowed upon us, sometimes like a tidal wave, to the umpteenth degree, until the veil of reality, or the veil of that facade, gets ripped off. And you're like, whoa, you are terrible, right? It happens all the time. A tale as old as time. Like I said, we hear these stories a lot. We just don't hear stories about pig vomit and JENN ever. That's what makes it so unique and so disturbing, right? Now, I highly recommend you guys go and checking out that full episode. I just wanted to hear what he had to say about it all. And I you know, or at least his opening statements, because at the same time, yeah, why isn't she being locked up? Why isn't she seeing any charges? So let's talk about that for a second, shall we? What if she's doing a Kayla Montgomery? What if she's doing a Kayla Montgomery? Think about it for a second. Just hold on. Time out. Think about it for a second. What if? What if she's out here working with police? She was very quick to sit there and go, oh, yeah, it's totally normal that that he would stay in the same bed and all that, right? What if this is a Kayla Montgomery? Now, if you don't know Kayla Montgomery, Adam Montgomery, those are the two sons of guns that were involved in the unaliving of little Harmony Montgomery. Now, that story is absolutely heartbreaking, but she was part of that situation. They hid that young girl's body for several months, moved around with her remains and all that. Oh, by the way, she's now out on parole. Kayla Montgomery. She out here free. Now, I don't know if she got her kids. I hope to God she don't got her kids, but she's still out here breathing in this freedom air. She free. She is not locked up anymore. Why is she out here breathing in this freedom air? Why is she enjoying freedom, America? Why? American cheese, apple pie. Why? Because she struck up a deal with the case. And she went on a stand and just annihilated Adam Montgomery. From what we understand, she said as much as the truth as we can believe it to be the truth. She definitely distanced herself from the crimes that were committed, which I wish they were able to throw the book at her as well, because she was a part of the problem. She was not part of the solution. We can all agree on that. But she struck up a deal. She went to testify and destroyed Adam Montgomery. Said everything, told the gruesome details of what happened to Harmony Montgomery and the several months after, while they put her in a diaper bag and carried her around, even froze her body, and then some. It's very disturbing. Harmony's body has still yet to be found. And I don't think we'll ever find that. Well, I don't think we'll ever find out the truth on that. But nonetheless, the reason why I bring up Kayla Montgomery is because I keep thinking that maybe JENN is hoping that she can strike up a deal with 5-0, or 5-0 is hoping to strike up a deal with JENN so that they could bury the hell out of pig vomit, Stephan Sterns. But here's the thing, though. They already have 60 some odd counts on Stephan Sterns. They already have a terabyte worth of footage, of disturbing footage. They already have video showing him discarding her remains, getting rid of some of her belongings, all that stuff. Come on, guys. But how many ways can you sit here and look at this and say, do they really need JENN right now? Really, do they? They already got enough smoking gun evidence. So sure, this could be a Kayla Montgomery situation where they're hoping that they can work something out with her, but why would they need to work anything out with her? It's his pecker on these videos and photos. You can't deny it. He has a pigment, a birthmark, whatever you mean, whatever you need to call it, on his weed whacker. There's no way around it. You can't sit there and go, well, it could be somebody else. No, it's his. It's him getting in the car and putting her remains in the car. It is him going to the dumpster, dropping off her laptop and her book bag. It is him on the side of the road with the flat, with her remains in the car, changing out the flat with her remains in the car. There is no way you can sit there. If 5-0 is sitting there going, well, maybe we can strike up a deal with JENN. No, you don't need that. You got enough to bury this mother lover all the way under that prison. So please, if that's even the case, please, oh, baby, please, God, please do not do what I think a lot of us are thinking right now, which is trying to strike up a deal with JENN. No, you need to lock her up as well. She is not a part of the solution. She is a part of the problem. And any other person that's involved, family members and all that stuff, lock them all up because they were all involved. They all saw that stuff. And maybe I'm talking crazy right now, but I'm angry because this young girl did not deserve what happened to her at all. 5-0, the courts, prosecution already has enough stacked up against this piece of trash. So you don't need to strike up a deal with JENN. She said under oath that they would stay in the same beds together. Now, I understand that she could just go, semantics, I didn't mean it like that. Sure, she could sit there and go, no, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean that they shared the bed. I just said that they shared the bed. I get it. I fully get it. But you cannot tell me that she didn't know at all. That's insane to me. Yes. No deals. Think of the children. Exactly. 110%. Melly, exactly. No deal. No deal. Now, isn't that like a Trump thing or something? You know what I mean? Very huge, very, very big deal. I can't do Trump, but you know what I'm saying. No deal. All right? Period. That's what I'm hoping for, though, that they don't do that they do the right thing. And they realize that their argument, their evidence is strong enough to destroy him. Like, this is not him going off into the woods to look at the moon and the stars on that fateful night. No. He's caught on camera in multiple locations doing unthinkable things while her remains are in the car. And then let alone the footage and the content that was on his phone, laptop, wherever they got a terabyte worth of content says a lot. Doesn't even matter how quickly he stumbled and hit factory reset on his phone. They still were able to catch a terabyte worth of footage. That's insane. That's insane. Yeah. Yeah, Court TV. Coco out here straight stargazing. Okay? I said it before. You know, out of nowhere, he just needed to go see the moon and the stars. Out of nowhere. He just woke up. I gotta see the moon and the stars. And he just ran off and went into the woods in the middle of the night to look at the mother-loving stars. Coco did that? Come on, stop, man. Stop it. Stop with the lies. Stop it. Okay, Coco. So it's the same thing. You can miss me with the nonsense because this right here, the evidence that they have is too strong. You can't sit there and go, well, maybe he was out there looking at the moon and the stars. No. Footage, content, and then some. Bury him under the prison. Oh, let's not forget. Let's bring her in too. But in another prison because she'll be in the female section of the prison. So bury her under there too because she's a part of the problem as well. Yeah, see, it's interesting because it's crazy how much true crime we've done on this show and all that. And so I could cross-reference like a mug, and y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I love all y'all. It's amazing because I can sit here and talk about stargazing. You're like, oh, he's talking about Brian Koberger. Okay. Idaho 4. Oh, that's okay. He's cross-referencing there. I see what he did there. I'm proud of y'all. Proud of Court TV too. Yeah. Y'all are smart out here. But real quick, before we continue, all right? Real quick, all right? Welcome to the family. Eddie, what have you done for me lately? Thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. All right? Siobhan, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Boo. I can't finish that. But yeah, boo. I know what you're trying to do. But boo, thank you. Did they get their freak on with Maddie in bed? What the hell? Yeah, that's the thing that I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking that she held that camera. I'm thinking that she directed some scenes. That's what I literally think. And how they're going to prove that, I don't know. Again, they got a terabyte worth of footage, photos and video. You're telling me that all of it was him holding the camera the entire time? Holding the phone the entire time? I think not. I think she was a part of it for sure. Yes, I did it. Yes, Jenny. I did an Eddie Raw. Yeah. I cross-reference a lot of things on the show. Y'all just got to keep your brain on a swivel. You know what I mean? Because is he going to go left? He's going right. Oh, where's he going to go? Yeah, we went to Eddie Raw right there. Lisa Jane, thank you so much. I appreciate the euros. These people are disgusting. Hi from Ireland. Hi, how you doing? Thank you so much. Top of the morning to you. CBC, thank you so much. What was the trigger that ended her life? You know what? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what triggered the situation. I don't know what it is that got her, whoever got mad at her and did what they did. We don't know everything about that. And that's what's so frustrating about that. Kathleen, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Yes. And just like Kathleen and others, consider becoming a member by hitting that join button down below. Become a member of the family. Penny, thank you so much for being a member for the past 4 months. This case haunts me. Even if she didn't know, it's still her fault because she didn't protect her. She fed her to a monster. Poor Madeline suffered so much. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Real talk. Melly, thank you so much. Love Vinny on Court TV. So do I. I approve this message. Thanks for the content, Pascal. Always keeping it real. I try. Some people don't like it, but hey, those are the breaks, right? Grace, thank you so much. We need a She Guilty member sticker. Yeah, I don't have a She Guilty. You know what I mean? I got a Him Guilty, but I don't got a She Guilty. Not yet, at least, but we're gonna work on that. I promise. Thank you so much for the idea. That's not a bad idea. Okay. Lisa just said, semantics are the new court trash. Are the new court trash in this country? Karen Reed, I hit him or I hit him. Miss me with that. Yeah, you got a point there. That Karen Reed case is just getting wild. It's definitely getting wild. And, I still am sitting on the fence. I know a lot of people are on one side or on the other. I just sit on the fence and I'm like, what is actually going on here? Because we've heard many different stories on Karen Reed, but that's a whole different conversation that we may have in the near future. Okay. But, real quick, I wanted to share a little bit of this. It's from Plunder. Okay, Plunder True Crime. I've been giving her a lot of love on the show, and it rightfully so. Same thing with Grizzly True Crime and all the other shows that do some really great, amazing work out here in the world and in the realm of true crime. But I have to play a little bit of this because there is allegedly, it's being said that there was massive head trauma to Madeline Soto. So I wanted to share this with you guys. We're going to only watch a little bit of this, okay? And yes, Grizzly's fantastic. Yes, Plunder is good. Yeah, they're all fantastic content creators for real, all right? So of course, I try to give credit where credit is due as best as I can. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it was interesting. We're not going to watch the whole thing. Just wanted to play a little snippet of it. Okay. So let's take a look at this here.
Two of the most shocking things we've learned from the recent Court TV video titled Stephan Sterns Police Interview, Madeline Soto Murder, which is linked to below and dated Monday, May 20th, 2024, is the potential cause of death of the 13-year-old daughter of Jennifer Soto, along with the movements Sterns may have undertook after her death. According to Joseph Scott Morgan, a well-known medico-legal death investigator expert.
Shout out to Joseph Scott Morgan. Okay. Fire. He's also fire too.
Maddie may have suffered massive head trauma at the hands of the man who is currently in jail awaiting trial. It is the same rumor I've heard about Maddie allegedly suffering blunt force trauma, but this has not been confirmed yet by any official entity. These details are painting a horrid picture of what could have unfolded after Maddie walked into the fading sunset of Sunday evening, twirling blue streamers in the air at her grandma's house. Did she know it was her last sunset? Was it her last moment of earthly peace? The next morning wouldn't reveal another normal school day at Hunters Creek Middle School for the teen. Instead, there was a flurry of 911 calls and claims from Soto and Sterns that Maddie never came out of school after being dropped off nearby that morning. If Maddie did suffer a blow to the head from Sterns, this leaves so many questions to be answered. Where did this head trauma take place? And when?
Exactly. Now, I don't want to play this whole thing. I highly recommend you guys go and checking out Plunder True Crime. She's fire. Okay. Us true crime, the true crime community needs to, of course, support each other, show love to each other, because we're all here for the same common goal, right? Be a voice for the voiceless, and of course, tell these cases and tell these stories, right? So that's why I'm like, hey, go check out Plunder, go check out Grizzly, you know what I mean? And the other ones, and the other content creators that are out here that are doing good. Real talk, because there's a lot of good, fantastic content creators that are doing everything they can to get their voices heard and be a voice for the voiceless as well, right? But that is very interesting that there could very well be blunt force trauma to this young girl. That's pretty insane. And one thing that's really upsetting is that we may never get the autopsy results because she's a minor. In the state of Florida, they do not put out that kind of information to the general public. That may just be something that prosecution, the courts will only get their hands on. We may find out during the trial when Pig Vomit, Stephan Sterns, walks into a courtroom, when he actually shows up to a courtroom, you know what I mean? But he may do exactly what Adam Montgomery did and not show up and just be a no-show. That could be possible here, okay? That apparently is something that you can do, which is insane. But at least with the information as far as what has happened to her, her autopsy results, her toxicology, all that stuff, all those things will be or may be revealed in court when Stephan Sterns sees the inside of a courtroom. When that happens, we don't know, right? When it goes into full-blown trial time, we don't know. I'm hoping very soon, because I don't think that this is one that they need enough evidence. You know, this is not an Idaho 4 where we might not see the inside of it, where Coco may not see the inside of a courtroom for 5 mother-loving years, it seems like now. Give it time. That's going to be a little while, the Idaho 4. Let's be real. But, and I know I'm exaggerating with the 5 years. I'm joking. I'm just exaggerating. But it will be a while from now. This one to me is an open and shut case. That's just what I believe. So I think that it's going to be a thing where they have enough. They're going to be like, let's get straight into it. Let's call it a day. Let's get him into trial. Bing, bang, boom. Guilty, get out. Now, what they're going to use Jenn Soto for, I don't know yet. But I'm still wondering why there's a delay. What is going on? Why are they dragging their feet in getting justice, full justice, for Madeline Soto? Because it's not full yet, okay? Half of the puzzle has been filled out. We still need to get the other half of the puzzle, I'm sorry. We still do. So I'm hoping it happens very soon, because let's be real. This young girl does most definitely deserve it. And it just angers me that as we hear more and more information, as we've heard more information, the fact that these things actually happened is mind-blowing to me. It's astonishingly disturbing to me. And justice needs to come to Maddie as soon as possible. So we'll see what happens here when it does happen. I just hope it happens soon. Because you know for a fact, the general public, their knee-jerk reaction about her saying, yeah, it's totally normal that they would share the same bed. The fact that they're coming out with that information right now to the public. I hope that the general public's reaction will sway 5-0 to actually get off their tuchus and start pressing charges on a mother lover. Because Madeline Soto's mama, if you want to call her that, Jennifer Soto, needs to be catching some charges toot sweet as soon as possible. All right, guys. So that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for chopping it up with me, talking with me about all this. Like I've said before, a million times before, without you guys here, I'd be talking to a wall. So I really do appreciate you guys being here, showing the love, showing the support, and just being positive as hell out here. Because we need as much positivity as we can. We need to get away from all the negativity, focus on the positive, focus on finding justice, keep telling these stories, keep talking about these cases, leaning on facts and facts alone. I appreciate you guys for being here. It really does mean a lot. Before you get going, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Send it all the way up. I don't know what number we're at, but hey, show some love if you can. That'll be amazing. Love to see it go past 800 likes really quick. So do that for me real quick. That'll be dope as hell. All right. Also, please hit that reaction button if you're watching on other channels. And if you're watching on those other channels, hit that follow button on all of them. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X/Twitter. Go share some love by hitting that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That'll be greatly appreciated. All right. And of course, do not forget to hit that join button down below. Become a member like some of y'all did today. Welcome to the family, to every single last one of y'all. Thank you. And of course, if you want to support even further, just go over to Patreon. Right there. Right there. Going this way. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Show some love, baby, by hitting that join button over there as well. Okay, guys. But anyway, I may be on a little bit later on tonight because we have definitely got to talk about Gilgo Baggins. Yes, we do have got to talk about Rex Heuermann because there's some new updates about that happened yesterday. We can't not talk about that. So I may be on a little bit later tonight in a few hours to talk about that as well. So be on the lookout. Make sure that notification bell is set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it be random though. I appreciate you guys. It's time to get going. I'll see you guys soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll probably see you guys in a couple hours. We got to talk about Gilgo Baggins. We do. Let's talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.